What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be reviewing the review of My Hero One's Justice 2 by IGN. This review is coming to you from Cyril Vacquez. Though looking at his portfolio, it doesn't seem to have a lot of reviews under his belt yet. Not IGN reviews at the very least. He's a freelance writer. He might have done reviews for other publications. That said, it's hard to see where this author is coming from as far as like, does he like anime games? Does he like arena fighters, etc.? We really don't know what his bias is based on his IGN portfolio. So I'm gonna go in blind. I haven't read the review yet, and I'm gonna keep an open mind. I've seen the score, and I know I don't agree with the score. That said, a review is so much more than a score. If he's got some good arguments for giving this game a 6 and calling it okay, fine by me. Reviewer bias is a real thing. Every reviewer is biased, myself included, okay? But it's not the first time we've done this. Previously, we looked at IGN's review of Kill la Kill If, and in that review, there were a lot of things that were just not true. There were so many mechanics and gameplay explanations that were factually wrong because the reviewer couldn't explore the game as much as he should have. There's definitely a big bias against arena fighters in general, where the whole industry sees a new arena fighter and goes, okay, another one of those, huh? They're gonna flip another anime property into a shitty arena game. That's how it goes. That's how it always goes. And while there is a reason why that happens, you know, historically there have been a lot of those games. As a reviewer, you just can't go into a game with that mindset. You gotta give every game the benefit of the doubt. You gotta give every game the best shot it's got. So let's dive into the review. Let's see what's up. One of the most enduring parts of the My Hero Academia anime series, beyond its outstanding characters and heartbreaking storylines, is its insistence that behind the awesome veneer of superheroes is a commitment to rigorous self-improvement. My Hero One's Justice 2 takes some inspiration from that mantra, honing the foundation built by its 2018 predecessor in subtle but meaningful ways, while making the fights even much more fun to watch. That's a long-winded way of saying, the second game's better than the first one. Wow. This review is not very long, and that's 4 lines of nothing. But it still can't crack the shallowness and imprecision that limited the first game, making for a fighter that, while more robust, isn't going to convince any naysayers of its greatness. This is something that I actually touched upon, and I agree with it 100%. My Hero One's Justice 2 is a better game than the first one, but it's not that much better that if you didn't enjoy the first one, you're now gonna love the second one. No. If you hated the first one or didn't enjoy it, you're not gonna like the second one. It doesn't improve that much. It's not that drastic. As a 3D arena fighter, One's Justice 2's balance is based on a simple rock, paper, scissors triangle in which normal and special attacks beat unblockable attacks, counter attacks beat attacks, and unblockable attacks beat counters and blocking. It's a bit more elaborate than that, I would say, especially once you get assists in the mix and everything. Though at the same time, that's what all fighting games come down to, right? The rock, paper, scissors system. Fights can rely on this triangle a little too much though, and some matches become a matter of guessing which one of those 3 attack types your opponent will fire off next. Predicting that my opponent is going to throw out a counter and stuffing it with an unblockable didn't make me feel smart a fair number of times, but after a few matches, it got a bit stale. Just sounds like you don't like fighting games. A lot of fighting other players, and no matter what fighting game you pick, doesn't even have to be an arena fighter, a lot of it is guessing and reading what your opponent's gonna do and countering them efficiently. I don't understand how this is written as, oh, you just gotta guess what's gonna come next. No, that's the beauty of fighting games. All of them. It's just an entire genre based on that. The giant roster helps stave off that boredom, however. It's nearly twice what it was in the original, adding 18 characters, most of whom are welcome additions that add a few wrinkles to fights. It's cool to see Mirio Togata face to the floor, then come back up to deliver an uppercut, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around Mr. Compress's host of long-range moves and setup maneuvers that make him tricky to play as and against. This paragraph shows us a couple of things. First of all, it shows us that unlike the Kill la Kill If review, this guy actually understands the game. He actually understands that characters behave in a very unique way, and he has tried, at the very least tried, to understand how different characters play. Just the fact that he's trying to wrap his head around Mr. Compress's weird gimmicks, which Mr. Compress is a hard character to understand. Sure, in a few weeks, people will have tech and it will be a lot simpler, but if you pick up the game and there's nothing online, Mr. Compress is super technical and hard to figure out. And I love that he picked that example specifically. This shows that he actually tried out the game, tried out different characters, and tried to figure out different stuff with them, which is miles above what the reviewer for Kill la Kill If did. The over-the-shoulder perspective, however, can make it hard to keep up with the action. Moves and projectiles might be obscured by obstacles or camera pans, making it hard to keep track of what's going on or execute combos, especially as the action moves to corners and up the side of buildings. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's also something I touched on in my review. The destructible environment is there to obscure your vision. Like, it's bad. The destruction doesn't look good, the objects look made of paper, and they double down on it instead of getting rid of it. I completely agree. Yeah, that along with imprecise movement. There's some BS movement that happens, but to call that imprecise movement, you can get good at movement. Make judging the radius and range of attacks more difficult than it should be. How far do I need to be to avoid Bakugo's streak of explosions? And if I can dodge it, will my basic attack reach far enough to properly counter before he recovers? I've had some tense fights and some close encounters online, but many others were clumsy, so I wasn't at all invested in them. That's... That's called matchup knowledge. Again, something common to all fighting games. Can I dodge Bakugo's explosions and then punish? I don't know, you have to try it out. But after you tried it out once, after you took it to the lab and figured that out, then you know the answer to that question and you can execute it in a match. It's called practicing, it's called labbing, it's what separates the casual players from the competitive ones. And that's the second time he points out a problem with this game, but the problem isn't the game itself, it's the whole fighting game genre. A new team battle mode lets you put a friend on assist duty in local multiplayer, though we weren't able to test it out for this review. Blame the current coronavirus pandemic. Yeah, and blame the weird limitations of this team battle mode, right? Why only local players? God. One's Justice 2 also has an extended single player mode, but it doesn't do a great job of igniting or stoking a love of the source material across its 8 hours. Picking up near the end of Season 2 and covering most of Season 3 of the anime... Wait. No. It's Season 3 and 4. It's a detail, but whatever, it's it's Season 3 and 4. The storyboard scenes flow together well enough to let you know what the plot is, but the season's best moments aren't delivered with the vigor they deserve, since you're mostly stuck with stills of the characters. Yeah, story mode really, it's disappointing how much they didn't improve over the first one. It really is. You're better off watching the show or reading a plot synopsis if you just want to know what all your friends are talking about. Fully 100% agree. Otherwise, there's a new arcade mode that's a decent way to practice up against CPUs. Why would you do that? Why would you practice up against CPUs? Mission mode, which has you recruiting heroes and fighting through gauntlets on simple maps, is a bit of a drag. Yeah, it is. It starts strong as it does test your ability to manage your health across multiple battles, but it's 36 gauntlets. Wow, this guy actually beat mission mode. I did like 5 missions before I put out my review because I was like, nah, this is too long-winded and repetitive to be fun. Yeah, boy, I'm glad I didn't sit through all those missions. Question, which quirk would you rather have? Here's a quiz in the middle of the review. Has IGN been doing this often? I didn't know this was a thing. I want overhaul. Let's see the results. Yeah. I figured. You don't want permeation, like you can't see anything and you lose your clothes. Foresight, you want to be miserable like Night Eye, knowing your friends are gonna die? No, your choices are Manifest or Overhaul. And Overhaul just feels like a more complete quirk. Online, most of my matches had decent connections, though I did see my share of stuttering. I'm more disappointed by the lack of some standard features. Neither rank or unranked matches have a rematch option, so you can't play longer sets against someone who puts up a good fight. Yeah, I also wish ranked and unranked had sets. Not unlimited rematches, so you're not able to farm ranked, but I wish it had, you know, best of 3, best of 5 sets. But more than that, I wish it had a real ranked system. I wish the points you get in ranked aren't just a grind. Because if you lose a match, you still get points. So the rank system doesn't matter. The leaderboards don't matter. They're literally just a measure for how long you've played the game. That's the real problem with ranked, and not this rematch thing seems like a very small issue. You can message them and invite them to a lobby to rematch, but these rooms are limited to 2 people, which is a bummer. Agreed. The lobbies are a lot better, but still limited to 2 people, which is a very big bummer. An icon in the online menu also promises themed online events, but it's not active yet, so I can't say for sure if they'll build on the events in One's Justice. Well, that icon just came alive today. It's just an online mission. It's just like something, hey, go complete ranked matches or unranked matches. It's really nothing special. It does give some rewards, so hey, log in and complete them if you want a shirt. Verdict! Like its predecessor, One's Justice 2 is good for a few matches with friends. You get to play around with the amazing expanded cast of characters from the anime and fire off some snazzy special moves and supers. Its minor improvements make combat more fun, and the expanded roster offers a ton of new options too. But if you want to delve deeper than that, whether it's sussing out the intricacies of combat, finding a satisfying solo experience, and getting in some good matches online, this second run at My Hero Academia game just doesn't put in the work it needs to be great. To be great. Up to this point, I agreed with everything he said on the verdict, but if you want to delve deeper than that, sussing out the intricacies of combat, This is one of the few arena fighters that actually allows you to do that. Characters are so unique in this game. Changing character is like changing your playstyle completely. You go back to the lab, you have to figure everything out from the start, and you're playing a completely different game. Most arena fighters, the character is 90% copy and pasted from a template. They all work the same, they just have different special moves. In this one, they're just completely different, which makes the roster super impressive and actually makes My Hero a fun competitive game if you want to dive deeper into it and figure it out. That said, the game itself, playing ranked or online matches, doesn't really provide that competitive experience. You have to look outside of the game, you have to look for Discord tournaments and stuff like that. So I understand where he's coming from, but the game does have depth, the game does have competitiveness to it. And regarding the satisfying solo experience, I totally agree with him. Like, My Hero 1 Justice 2 tried to improve over the first game, and I think it's slightly better, but it's still not a good solo experience. All in all, I don't have a problem with the IGN score at all. As you guys might know, my review was very positive. I give it a very good score, and I think I justify that score pretty well, but he also justifies the score of 6 very well. I think he has a few problems with the game that are not specific to the game, maybe just doesn't like fighting games that much. I don't know, I don't want to assume, but some of his criticisms were like, what, you gotta guess what your opponent's gonna do? Yeah, it's a fighting game. But overall, I don't find the score offensive. Not like the Kill La Kill If score, where I really thought the reviewer was ignorant of a lot of features the game was offering. In this case, it feels like, yeah, he went deep, he tried stuff out, and it's just not for him. Like, he just didn't like it. Still calls it okay. It's an okay game, and I appreciate that. Though, regarding the intricacies of combat, I think we're gonna prove him wrong. We have a tournament tomorrow. I'm gonna be live on Twitch. So if you want to see what the community has figured out within the first week and see what competitive play looks like for My Hero 1 Justice 2, definitely join the stream. IGN, you gotta pass this time. I think this is a decent review. A bit short, a few things were glazed over, but overall, I understand the score, I understand the reasoning. You're good in my book. Sorry if you came to this video looking for me to bash on IGN, but I really think this time they did a good job. But hey, maybe you don't agree. I want to hear what you guys think about this review in the comments down below. And what are your overall feelings on My Hero 1 Justice 2 1 week after release? Let me know your opinions. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you next time. Boy.